While most police departments have upgraded to modern cruisers, some vintage patrol cars from decades past are still hitting the streets today. From 1970s muscle cars to classic Crown Vics, these rolling pieces of history continue to serve and protect American communities. Let's explore the fascinating world of vintage police vehicles that refuse to retire. Our journey begins with America's most iconic patrol car, the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. Though Ford discontinued the Crown Vic in 2011, hundreds of these workhorses are still patrolling streets across the nation. The Crown Victoria dominated American law enforcement for over 2 decades. Built on Ford's Panther platform, these vehicles were specifically engineered for police work, with reinforced frames, heavy-duty transmissions, and pursuit-rated performance capabilities. What makes the Crown Vic special isn't just nostalgia, it's practicality. Many smaller departments can't afford to replace their entire fleet every few years. A well-maintained Crown Vic can easily surpass 200,000 miles, making them incredibly cost-effective for cash-strapped municipalities. Take the Oakwood Police Department in Georgia. They're still running 3 2008 Crown Vics that have collectively accumulated over 600,000 miles. Chief Martinez explains that with proper maintenance, these vehicles outperform many newer alternatives while costing a fraction of modern patrol cars. The spacious interior, rear-wheel drive capability, and proven V8 engine make Crown Vics ideal for everything from high-speed pursuits to transporting criminals. Many officers who've driven both vintage and modern patrol cars prefer the Crown Vic's road feel and reliability. Crown Vics aren't the only vintage vehicles still serving. Some departments are keeping true classics on the road. We're talking about actual muscle cars from the 70s and the 80s. The Michigan State Police still operates several restored 1979 Dodge Challengers and Plymouth Furies for special events and community relations. These aren't just parade cars. They're fully functional patrol units with modern communication equipment discreetly integrated into classic interiors. Officer Rodriguez from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department in California drives a meticulously maintained 1977 Pontiac Trans Am. Originally purchased by the department in 1978, this vehicle has been continuously updated with modern safety equipment while preserving its vintage character. These muscle car patrol units have remarkable performance capabilities. Many vintage police vehicles were equipped with high-output engines that rival modern patrol cars. That 1977 Trans Am packs a 400 cubic inch V8, producing over 300 horsepower, more than enough to keep up with today's standards. The psychological impact of these vintage patrol cars shouldn't be underestimated at all. Beyond traditional patrol cars, many departments maintain specialized vintage vehicles for unique purposes. These range from off-road units to ceremonial vehicles that still pull regular duty. The Colorado State Patrol maintains a fleet of vintage 1985 Chevrolet Blazers specifically for mountain rescue operations. These K5 Blazers, with their solid axles and high ground clearance, can access terrain that modern SUVs simply can't handle. Down in Texas, the Harris County Sheriff's Office operates vintage Ford Broncos from the early 1990s for flood rescue operations. When Hurricane Harvey hit in 2017, these vintage trucks were among the most effective vehicles for navigating flooded streets where newer, more complex vehicles failed. Some departments use vintage vehicles for community policing initiatives. The LAPD's Newton Division operates a restored 1965 Plymouth Belvedere as part of their community outreach program. This classic patrol car, painted in period-correct black and white livery, draws crowds at community events and helps bridge generational gaps. The simplicity of older mechanical systems means fewer electronic failures, easier field repairs, and lower maintenance complexity. The financial reality behind keeping vintage police vehicles operational tells a compelling story about modern law enforcement budgeting challenges. A new Police Interceptor SUV costs upwards of $45,000 before equipment installation. Compare that to maintaining a vintage Crown Vic, which might require $3,000 to $5,000 annually in maintenance and repairs. For departments serving smaller communities, the math is simple. The Henderson Police Department in Nevada conducted a 5-year analysis comparing their vintage Crown Vics to newer patrol vehicles. They found that per-mile operational costs for well-maintained Crown Vics were 40% lower than modern alternatives, even accounting for fuel efficiency differences. Parts availability remains surprisingly strong for popular vintage police vehicles. Crown Vic parts are abundant in both new and used markets. Many departments have even partnered with local automotive restoration shops to maintain their vintage fleets, supporting local businesses while keeping costs down. Some departments have gotten creative with funding vintage vehicle maintenance. The Prescott Police Department in Arizona partners with local high school automotive programs, where students learn restoration skills while helping maintain the department's vintage patrol cars. This approach creates a win-win situation. Departments get affordable maintenance, students gain real-world experience, and communities maintain their connection to law enforcement history. Keeping vintage police vehicles operational isn't without challenges. Modern law enforcement requires sophisticated technology integration, safety compliance, and performance standards that vintage platforms weren't designed to accommodate. The biggest challenge is incorporating modern communication systems, computers, and safety equipment into vintage vehicles. The Fairfax County Police Department spent over $15,000 retrofitting a 1995 Crown Vic with current technology, including mobile data terminals, body camera systems, and updated radio equipment. Safety requirements present another hurdle. Modern police vehicles must meet current crash safety standards, emissions requirements, and accessibility guidelines. Vintage vehicles often require expensive modifications to remain compliant with current regulations. Fuel efficiency has become increasingly important as departments face budget pressures and environmental concerns. A vintage Crown Vic averages 15 to 18 miles per gallon, compared to modern police interceptors that can achieve 25+ miles per gallon in similar driving conditions. Despite these challenges, many departments find creative solutions. LED light conversions improve visibility while reducing electrical load. Modern tires and suspension components enhance safety and performance. The key is finding the balance between preserving vintage character and meeting contemporary operational requirements. As we look toward the future, the role of vintage police vehicles continues to evolve. While they may never again dominate patrol fleets like Crown Vics once did, these classic cruisers have found new purposes in modern law enforcement. Community policing initiatives increasingly recognize the value of vintage patrol cars for public engagement. Classic police vehicles at community events generate positive interactions that modern cruisers often can't match. They serve as conversation starters and bridge builders between law enforcement and citizens. Emergency response capabilities ensure that some vintage police vehicles will remain operational for years to come. Their simplicity and reliability in extreme conditions make them valuable backup resources when modern electronics are compromised. The collector and enthusiast community continues to support vintage police vehicle preservation. Former police cars often find second lives with collectors who maintain them in operational condition. From Crown Vic workhorses to muscle car classics, vintage police vehicles continue serving American communities in ways their original designers never imagined. They're rolling symbols of law enforcement history, community connection, and practical resourcefulness. As long as there are communities to serve and officers who appreciate their unique character, vintage police vehicles will continue patrolling America's streets. What's your favorite vintage police vehicle? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories about America's law enforcement history.